imagination began with a new art form. Makes me feel I belong to something.
Check, check. There we go. Welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen, to F1 2020 Tier 1 here at Apollo Racing Club for the Austrian Grand Prix. I'm Adam EV500. Joining me in the broadcast booth, back from a vacation or trip, wherever you were, Bash Dash. Bash Dash, welcome on in.
Takes. We might see some scenario 7 type moments. We'll just have to see. What happens.
We will.
I hear the Ferraris are still going pretty well, but they might have some competition that just came in.
Yes, you're exactly right. As we look over at the standings, we have Rogue at first place with 100 points. He did not finish last week. He had a DNF, and then followed by Tech in the Racing Point with 63 points. Gypsy in the McLaren with 54 points. Sim Black Fox at 52, and he's tied with Rosefest in the Red Bull with 52. 1 point behind him is Mr. Hood in the Mercedes. He has 51 points. Gore, who sadly is no longer with us, he is considered a retired driver, reserve driver with 51 points. He will slowly fall out of the top 10. Kubi with 38 points. Ruda in the other Ferrari with 33. And the newcomer who had his very first race last week and his maiden victory, Astronaut, who will now be a full-time driver for the Racing Point.
I've heard a lot of good things about Astronaut. Tell me about what this Racing Point driver can do.
This Racing Point driver, he is a very strong Racing Point. He's just a strong driver in general. He was able to pass Rogue by turn 2 at Baku last week in the rain, and was just able to take off with it, and was able to just get a gap and just win the race. Very, very strong. So I'm very excited to see what he could put up today. Now that he's a full-time driver, I'm very happy that he's a full-time driver here at Apollo Racing Club. He deserved a full-time driver seat. I mean, you come in, you're a reserve driver for the top tier of the club, and you come in and you win your very first race, you obviously deserve a spot.
Yeah, we'll see if Astronaut can maintain that momentum this race, and we'll see if Rogue can't bounce back after a disappointing finish in Baku.
A disappointing finish indeed in Baku as we get ready to go to qualifying here. And just to remind everybody, our qualifying is an 18-minute qualifying followed by a 50% race. So we're definitely going to see some lap times, probably within the 110s. The lap record still currently held by Michael Schumacher with a 108.3. So what are you expecting here tonight, Bash?
I'm definitely expecting some sub 110s. We do have some really fast drivers in our league, so maybe someone will bust out something right away. But I'm definitely expecting that by the end of quali, once everyone's getting their last laps in, at least a few people will go sub 110.
Sub 110 is what we're hearing, and as the countdown finishes up here, we are into the loading screen and getting ready here to qualify. And those standings are approved by Grid Finder. Thank you. A huge shout out to Grid Finder for helping us out. Our 4 of our drivers in Tier 1 took part in the Grid Finder event. Sadly, they got caught up in some accidents, didn't do so well, but a huge shout out to Ruda, Mr. Hood, Rogue, and Tack for taking part in that. And of course, we are here. And what is the one thing that could potentially happen here? Of course, is the rain.
So we're going to be starting qualifying on inters. It's pretty light rain, but can't be too careful. Austria has those crazy bends. So looks like everyone's just getting their setups done now, and soon someone's going to be coming out, and we can get started.
It's going to be very interesting to see what kind of strategies is going to go into this, particularly the fact that, well, it is raining. 18 minutes on the clock. No one is out of the pit lane yet. We have, just so you know, we have adjusted a few things. We are no longer putting that tire and overlay up anymore. I have a different way of handling that now, so I will no longer have that up on the screen. I can tell by a different angle. But no one out yet. Surprisingly, we've got to remember there is a minute delay of loading, so But who do you think is going to come out first?
Wait, someone's coming out. Someone's coming out. Who is that? That is a Racing Point, and
that
that
Chad?
is
No, that's Astronaut.
That's Astronaut,
All right, so
and he'll be the
Astronaut-
first one out.
Astronaut going to be the first man out on to the Red Bull Ring, or the Christian Horner Ring, as we call it here at Apollo Racing Club. He is on those intermediate tires, so let's see what he looks like. And looks like a Williams is coming out as well. That's going to be Mr. Hood. And Mr. Hood, he is looking to revive some points here and continue his run up into the top 5 in the standings. He has looked very good in the past few races. Last week, it was about an average race for him, I would say, but definitely needing something. So talk us through here the Red Bull Ring Bash.
So we've got a long straight at the beginning, followed by some really fast S's. If you can maintain speed throughout all of the corners, that's going to be the really important thing on this track. Speed maintenance. Kind of the same thing with Mugello, but last year I feel like Mugello was just a one-off for the actual F1 season. We didn't even get it in the game, but hopefully soon. But yeah, no, if you can just maintain that speed in the corners and then just know how to use ERS in the straights, you'll be really successful. And Astronaut is going to begin his first hot lap at the Christian Horner Ring in the Racing Point. Shout out real quick to Sergio Perez, who received Christian Horner's good graces after a good season at where else? Racing Point. He'll be racing for Red Bull this year.
He will be racing for Red Bull as Astronaut goes on a 17.4 in Sector 1. So a nice first sector. Can he find the pace to keep that provisional pole? So obviously he'll take provisional pole right away as he goes through Sector 2 here as he comes. Yep, he's going through 1, 2, 3, turn 3 there. Coming down the hill and going back up the hill before going down the downhill straight.
A slower turn 3, but you can't be too careful. Good thing he's making up for it in the other corners. No DRS because it is raining, but still managing to pick up speed rather quickly.
And you have to be very careful on the straight between 4 and 5 because you can actually get an off-track limit there, a track limit or warning there if you go just a little bit too far off the edge. As Astronaut, he stays on track as he finishes his first lap, and it's going to be a 1:12.9.
9.58. Yeah,
Very
I don't
nice.
think we're going to be seeing any 1 minute 10s while it's raining out, but still, it is pretty fast. But
Now
Mr. Hood clapped back with a 1:12.833.
Yes, very
it's
nice indeed. Now there is
Matter of
a...
milliseconds.
I'm trying to find who it is, but there is somebody who actually put up a purple sector, and that is going to be Sim Black Fox. He put up a nice purple sector 3 with a 22.4, and he goes up with a 1:12.69.
Are we going to keep getting 1 minute 12s? Looks like this is going to be a battle of milliseconds. The Williams crosses the line, but 1 minute. Okay, he gets a 1 minute 13. We're starting to get some 1 minute 13s. The next 1 minute 12 will be Astronaut's teammate Tact in the other pink Mercedes with a 1:12.869. Sin Black Fox is still first place. The Ferrari of Ruda takes second with a 1:12.823. So 1:12.8 seems to be around the average area for most of these drivers so far. 1:12.8, 1:12.9.
And you know, this is not that heavy of a rain as Astronaut puts up a 1:11.8. Hello, Astronaut. Welcome to your second week here at Apollo Racing Club. He is fast.
You think anyone else is going to reach the sub 1:12 club?
You know, with the rain, it's going to be hard as Rogue is only puts up a decent time, but he's a second and a half behind Astronaut. So he has a lot of time he has to make up. So my prediction will, it's going to be hard to beat that. That's a pretty fast time if we're seeing the 1:12s being kind of that comfortable pace right now as we're seeing more cars coming across here.
I'll say this, knowing Rogue, he likes to warm up during qualifying, and qualifying either way is just not one of his stronger subjects, but he does make up for it with these starts. If he can hover around the mid-pack, that he might be able to make something happen, but of course, he is going to want to improve on that time.
He really is. He's going to have to do that. And And by the looks of things, Madman, who is out on an out lap. Let's see if Rosefest now is on his hot lap as he's going through turn 1 here. And let's see. Let's check in on the weather. Let's see if we'll have weather for the entirety of the race or not.
And Linus Singapore is just right behind. Very anxious to see what the Red Bulls can do on their home turf. But yeah, what's that weather looking like?
That weather it looks like we are going to have rain for the next 45 minutes here with a high of 27 degrees Celsius. So, and there is a yellow flag in Sector 2. Not able to tell who that is, though.
Warm weather and rain, that's a heck of a combination.
That is a heck of a combination.
As Roadfest comes in, final corner, kisses the corner beautifully. Has he overextended? I don't think so.
Nope, he stayed on
set
track.
Time of 1 minute 13:22. And right as I say this, Rogue has actually improved to second place with a 1 minute 12:313. I wonder if he's going to try to get another lap in or if he's coming back into the pits. It's always hard to tell.
So I will have to say that there is a Williams that invalidated their lap, and and now we have a new best Sector 3. That is going to be a Red Bull. That is going to be Kubi putting up a fastest Sector 2.
And in the meantime, Rogue has received provisional pole with a 1 minute 11:641. Astronaut goes back on his outlap. He's gonna wanna show up Rogue. We'll see if he can do it. Rogue letting Astronaut by. Doesn't want, even though that's his outlap. You think Rogue is coming back into the pits?
I think so, because he did put up a 1:11.6. He is still running pretty fast on this set. It looks like he is using lean mode, though. He is on his low engine mode, so allowing Astronaut some space here, maybe just conserving some fuel. Maybe he'll do a triple push, maybe, or and see if he can just follow Astronaut a little bit. See if he can pick up where Astronaut's a little bit faster at, because he knows it's only a 0.2 difference here, and Astronaut could probably find that. He's very quick. He's very quick, especially in the rain. So here we go. We're getting ready for. Oh no, he went off track. Astronaut went off track. That is going to invalidate that lap. But Rogue is going to go ahead and go for a push lap here as he goes into his max fuel mode. He has only put a little bit of wear onto these tires, and Astronaut's going to go ahead and let Rogue by. But I think that's going to do, wow. Unfortunate.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Rogue indirectly as well, because if he did want to study Astronaut's driving habits, he won't be able to now because Astronaut just let him by.
He did. Oh, that was a very unfortunate event as Sim Black Fox, he is going to go ahead and he is on an out lap as well. He's going to be looking to improve positions. Chipsy's going to go P4 with a 1:12.441. So the top 5 looking very strong as we have Rogue, Ruda, Astronaut, Chipsy, and Sim Black Fox right now in that top 5 as Rogue is continuously holding on to that pole position.
Yep. Even with Ferrari changing its second driver, they're still a very dominant team, going 1-3 in quali. Ruda had a lot of really good moments in the previous season, and he's continued to do so this season as well. We'll see how he does in Austria. Oh no, Rogue lost the tail end there. He's gonna let Astronaut pass. That's unfortunate. Has he gotten any damage? I don't think he hit anything.
I don't think he did. Taking a look here. Doesn't look like it did not happen, but there is a yellow flag in Sector 3, and that's going to be Ruda. Ruda's backed up. He is onto the side of the track. What happened here?
I'm not sure, but yeah, he's just letting the others pass before he goes, which is the right thing to do. But,
Now, Astronaut, he could go on another push lap here. I think he does have enough fuel. No, to do another hot lap here.
Yep, that's what he's going to do. Rogue, on the other hand, I think he will be heading to the pits.
Yep, he did invalidate his lap, so he might as well just head to the pits, get a new set of tires on. new set of enters on, and then go back
As
out there.
Astronaut approaches the final few corners, kissing that last apex beautifully, and finishes with a no improvement.
No. Well, no, he is now on his hot lap. He was finishing up an out lap there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because he invalidated.
Yes. That was the invalid lap. Got it.
Well, I'm not able to
right.
tell any of Astronaut's statistics. He doesn't have his telemetry public, so I'm not actually able to tell.
We'll have to let him know to fix that before the next race. But he loses it a little bit, so it's unlikely he'll improve this lap. But he could always make some magic happen in the next few corners. The corners that are coming up.
Yeah, he could. But Rogue's teammate, Ruda, is on a hot lap as well. He's going to be looking to improve at least one position as Simblack Fox goes P3 with a 1:12.2. And here comes... Go ahead.
He's going to finish with a...
Oh, he went off track again.
He went off track, and that's going to be his next lap invalidated as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's going to be his next lap as well. Very unlucky for him.
You hate to see it.
So let's see here, but Tact, he's up into the top 5 now as Chipsy falls down into P6, and Tact is on a hot lap. He is looking for potential, maybe a P3 here, maybe join his teammate. I think he's really happy though to have a teammate that's going to help him in the Constructors' Championship and challenge Ferrari here as we get into the second part of our season before the next break.
Oh yes.
Tack, nice. He turns all the way.
Oh no!
He loses it.
He
He does stay on the track though. He doesn't invalidate it. Let's see what he can do.
He saves his car, but it doesn't look like he could save his lap unless he knows something we don't.
Oh, and there was a Williams off. Was that Righteous that was off? Was that Righteous fire?
Back into the pits.
Okay.
I think that was.
Yeah, he's headed back into the pits. What happened to Righteous Fire? Yep, that was definitely his. Yeah, he has no front wing. He'll head back into the pits as we are heading down to the last 4 minutes of qualifying here at the Red Bull Ring. Here comes Lion of Singapore. He's going to start a hot lap here as he goes into turn 1. Nice brakes there. Does very well going through there. Let's see what else he can do here. Can he improve some time as I'm keeping my eye on the timing screen as well? See if he improves a little bit. He does. He improves it just a little bit. He improves by just 0.02 of a second with a 17.3 Sector 1 as he now pushes down through Sector 2. Bash, we might see Lion of Singapore maybe gain a few spots here. I know he's not the greatest in the rain, or Kubi. He's not the greatest rain racer, but this qualifying is setting up to be pretty nice.
Oh, yeah. And, Lion of Singapore could make something happen. He's running a pretty beautiful lap, going just as wide as he needs to. Doesn't really need to... Oh, no, and just as I say that, he loses it. Commentator's curse. And the cousin team, AlphaTauri, hasn't been doing too well either. Peach is in the pits, second to last, and not too long ago, Madman GTR lost it a little bit. He's going to look to improve on last. Oh, no, he's heading back into the pits as well. Yeah, no, if AlphaTauri wants to save their standing, they're going to need to come up with something crazy. They're the only 2 drivers that are over the 1 minute 13 mark.
Well, I'm on board with Rogue now, as he is going to look at improving his time. Astronaut has not gone out yet. We got to remember that. Astronaut is in P2 right now. He's sitting at a 1:11.887, and Rogue is sitting at a 1:11.64. So
Astronaut's actually coming out right now.
He's coming out right now, and actually he is. You are correct. He is coming right out of the pit lane. We'll track him as soon as Rogue gets past the checkered, the start-finish line. But looks like he's improving. He improved a little bit on his first sector, but he is down in Sector 2 by 0.03 of a second. But it says he put the fastest Sector 2. That's hilarious. And
It all
he's going to
comes
go
down to that final sector.
It really does. It really comes down to this final turn as he goes down the straight. Can he find the time? He goes up 2:10.
4:04. And he was going so fast, it almost looks like he was sliding through some corners, though. It's like, oh, be careful not to lose it, Rogue. Be careful not to lose it. But he was like, nah.
Rogue.
I got all the control in the world.
Rogue
No more spinning for me.
Rogue was pushing it to the absolute limit there.
What's Astronaut going to do, though? He's about to cross the line, and he gets a...
Nope, he is going on his hot lap now.
Okay. Now he's on his hot lap.
Yep, now he's on his hot lap as he goes through turn 1. And we'll keep an eye on his times. Let's see if he improves in Sector 1. That's really, if you're not going to improve in all 3 sectors, it's going to be very difficult. We saw Rogue was able to get improvements in Sectors 1 and 3 as Astronaut goes 6,000s up on his first sector. He puts up a 17.3. He is a 10th off of Rogue's pace through Sector 1.
And Ruda decides he's had enough, making Rogue the only Ferrari left, as has Sin Black Fox. Ruda and Sin Black Fox will be 8th and 5th, respectively, unless someone improves on their time.
Now we're coming
Astronaut gliding through that corner.
He was absolutely flying. He goes 3/10 up on Sector 2, and that makes him only 3,000s faster than Rogue. So let's see what he can do in the final 2 turns here. He's getting tremendous speed here as we're ending qualifying. Can he find the time to take provisional pole?
Ooh, so close.
He does not.
The 4:04 Astronaut was a 4:21.
He
so it's an
missed
improvement,
it.
But
It's an improvement, but it was 0.016 of a second off the pace. What an absolute qualifying we had here at the Red Bull Ring as Rosefest goes into the top 3, and he goes up with a 1:12 even.
well
Mr.
done
Hood-
to the Red Bull.
Well done to the Red Bull. Mr. Hood, he is on an outlap, I think.
But really, 17 milliseconds separate first and second.
A new challenger has arrived as Van puts into the chat. Let's see what happens here. Nope, that's going to be Mr. Hood's lap. Let's see if anybody else is on a lap. I don't think anybody else is. I think that is everybody. But, Chipsy's going to try and find some extra time here. Does he? He does. He goes into the top 4 with a 1:12.0.
Ferrari, Racing Point, Red Bull, and McLaren, and Mercedes, in the case of Mr. Hood, are all about to battle for the top spot in this race. Oh, but Astronaut takes pole position.
He
with a
wasn't
1 minute
done.
11.387. Rogue improves, but it's a 3.99. What is that, 12 milliseconds?
That is 11 milliseconds. That is insane. Woo! Oh, the top 5 is not messing around tonight.
A couple sub 112s. Pretty much everyone's a sub 113. Rosefest really close to the 112 limit. My goodness.
Woo! Well, that's qualifying. Our provisional pole man is going to be Astronaut, followed by Rogue by 11 milliseconds. That is very tight. Very, very tight indeed. Followed by Rosefest, then Chipsy, and of course Mr. Hood. So we have quite the race coming up, and I want to give a weather update to everybody. In 45 minutes, it's supposed to stop raining. We will be in race already. We'll be towards the ending stages of the race, and it's going to be dry.
I'm looking forward to that. We're going to see a lot of speed in this track the moment that the track dries up. But really, it is great seeing 2 drivers at the top of their class just trading with each other and absolutely going at it. When I was commentating, there was usually just the one dominant driver during a season. But seeing Astronaut and Rogue just absolutely go after each other's throats like that, it's going to be an exciting race provided no unfortunate incidents occur.
Well, it is the Red Bull Ring. Oh, it looks dry. Was my weather lying to me?
I think the weather was just exclusive to qualifying.
Probably. As the time went on. But that would be nice to have a dry race here. Plot twist, it's a dry race. Exactly. Here at Apollo Racing Club. F1 2020 Tier 1 approved by Grid Finder. With 30 seconds until the start of this race. And Bash Dash, give us your predictions.
Well, I think it's actually going to be pretty clean. Despite the speed of the Red Bull Ring and how frantic some of these drivers can go, I don't really see too many collisions happening here. Maybe I did and my memory's a little bit shot, but this always gives me the impression of just like an incident-free track. I'm looking forward to seeing what the chat says. Either way, I'm sort of expecting Astronaut and Rogue to swap positions. It'll be really cool seeing if their pit strategies differ at all, but I guess time will tell about any of that as they start to warm up their tires. What about you? What are your predictions?
Well, my predictions are definitely going to be what is this top 5 going to do? This is an insane top 5. Just saying, like, just an absolutely insane top 5. We have
EV's away from. All right.
Oh, sorry. There we go. I was muted on your end. My bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, as we can tell, look, Rogue took the medium tires. He's the only man in the entire top 5 to take the medium tires. But if you look below the top 5, we're seeing a lot of those medium tire runners.
Yeah, qualifying with the mediums and almost getting pole position. Yeah, Rogue really knows how to start strong with those harder tire compounds. So you never know. That strategy could serve well if we do get that clean race like I'm predicting. But if a safety car comes out, Astronaut might be a little better suited to that because he can take care of his tires more. He can stay out with the softs a little longer and then find the most convenient time to pit and then do so.
Well, now that we have updated weather, let's go ahead and update on everybody. It is going to be dry for the entirety of the race. It is 29 degrees Celsius. The track temp right now is 29 Celsius. So it's going to be a pretty decent race, I think. It's going to be nice. It's going to be dry all the way from start to finish. As now the cars...
Hot weather, hot drivers, hot cars. Hopefully the drivers can keep a cool head as the lights go out. And away we go at the Red Bull Ring.
As Rogue and Astronaut...
Rosefest is sneaking by.
Yep, they're trying to sneak by.
Second.
And Astronaut, he's going to go ahead and just go on the outside line and just go all the way through and dive deep into turn 1 and just take his first position. But Rogue, he is chasing him down fast. But Rogue is on the long game. We have to remember, he is on that medium tire. So, but Gypsy and Rosefest trying to make some moves there, but it wasn't going to happen. Now Mr. Hood and Gypsy are going to battle for fourth place here as Gypsy just pulls ahead just a little bit. But we have a nice train going down Sector 2 into turns 3 and 4 here. Bash Dash, what a start.
Oh, yes. We already get an overtake. We get some couple more swaps. Nile goes up 1. The Peach goes up 1. Babu goes up 1 on Nile, so it looks like they were trading a little bit. But, yeah, Astronaut's starting to lose Rogue. So maybe the medium tires weren't so much of a play. Or maybe Rogue just needs to warm them up just a little bit more.
I would say
either way.
I would say it's a temperature issue. It looks like the tires.
But a yellow flag.
A yellow
Ruta's
flag.
off.
Ruta is off. What happened to Ruta? Okay, he is back on. Nope, he has everything. It looks like intact. He probably just went off track. An update on Astronaut's tires. So those soft tires, they're going to get pretty warm pretty quickly, especially on a hot track like this. Those medium tires, though, they're staying within that temperature range. They're staying within that 81 degrees Celsius range where you want to keep those medium tires, especially as they go down the straight here. And Rogue, he is having the battle Rosefest, who is on the soft tire. But Rogue, if one thing he's good at, that is defending his position on the slower tire.
Yeah, maybe with this weather, it could just be best for Rogue to play the long game. I'm looking at the ERS. He's burning just as much battery as he needs to in order to maintain pace, but not too much. Unfortunately, he does pick up a 3-second penalty for cutting into the corners a little bit. Hopefully, that doesn't mess up his standings. It really depends on how clean the other drivers can go. But yeah, I guess the aim of the game is just to stay fast enough, and then when Astronaut has to pit, then turn up the revs and just blaze past. It looks like I think Mr. Hood got the fastest lap, and now he's going to try to sneak into third, going neck and neck with Rosefest. Who's going to take it in this corner?
Ooh.
I think it's going to be who? Oh no.
No, it's Rosefest. It's Rosefest.
Yeah, Rosefest was blocked by Rogue a little bit, but he managed to keep on trucking. He managed to have the inside line. He's going to have the inside line going into this corner, but Mr. Hood is picking up pace. He's using that ERS. This is a tough battle between them.
This is a very tough battle, so we'll keep our eyes on this right now as Mr. Hood, he's going to go on the outside, and he takes the position going into turn 5. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He should be very happy. That was one of the best moves I think I've seen him do. So now he has to go run down Rogue. But once again, Rogue, he was able to get a little space because of that battle as they come down the final straight here. And we do see
Rogue gets a fast lap. Hood gets another fast lap again. 1:06.582.
Mr. Hood, like I said, he didn't come to play today. He is ready to go. Now he's going to go for an overtake on the Rogue. He does. He gets the overtake done. Nicely done. And now can he focus on getting to Astronaut? That's going to be the real question. As Rogue is going to try and stay in that slipstream, but he goes off. He gets into the grass now, and he goes wide as Rosefest goes past him with that DRS.
Ooh, yeah, it looks like Rogue's in a little bit of trouble. Maybe that medium tire strat. He could still be playing the long game, but yeah, no, he's got a lot of catching up to do. But still, Mr. Hood making his way all the way to second place, potentially battling for first, depending on how their strategies differ. That black Mercedes livery becoming all the more appropriate as Mr. Hood is shaping himself to be the dark horse of this race.
Now he is getting a little bit of a gap. It's 1.8 seconds now to Astronaut as Rosefest. Oh, never mind. Now we have a yellow flag in sector 3.
And he couldn't back off, and he gets a bit of a collision. Who did he hit? I think it was the Peach, the AlphaTauri of the Peach. Does he have wing damage?
Who was that?
But yeah, Rosefest went off and he hit someone. I think it was either the Peach or Righteous Fire, either the AlphaTauri or the Williams. I couldn't tell.
Yep, and now we're seeing some pits coming on in. And Ruda, he goes into the pits as well as Rosefest as Astronaut now takes 1.5, just right over a 1.5 gap over Mr. Hood. But Mr. Hood, he's pushing. He is really pushing. He is using that ERS very well and using the fuel, his engine modes as well, very well as well. Babushka, he's going to pick up a 3-second penalty for track limits. Can't go off track on this place, and it's very easy to. So you got to be a little careful, especially coming down the straight between turn 4 and 5. But Rogue
picking up another penalty.
Oof.
Yes. Oh, and he spun, and it looks like he's received
He's
damage.
out. He is out of this race, I think. There's no way he continues. Oh, he's going to go ahead and continue here. Well, Rogue, he's going to fall back, and absolute disaster now for Rogue. But Mr. Hood, guess what? He's now almost in a second of Astronaut. He is 1.2 seconds coming down the they are coming down turn 3 now.
And you can't help but just feel bad for Rogue.
Yeah.
One disaster after another for this race, but I really respect that he's kept going.
He did.
We'll see if he can salvage any points from this race.
You know, we were talking the other day. Rogue, I enjoyed talking to Rogue. He and I do some iRacing together. He'll be racing the 24 Hours of Daytona next weekend in the Corvette GTE. And he said anytime he qualifies well, he never does well in the race. And so that's why we always see kind of these poor qualifyings from him in the early weeks. and he doesn't. Oh, and a DRS. Oh, that was a brilliant move in the turn 2 there. As the DRS comes alive. Excuse me, in the turn 1.
Mr. Hood going closer to Astronaut.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
what I was talking about.
Hopefully one of these days, Rogue can break the trend of not doing well in one category and doing well in the other. Would be cool to see him do well in quali and the race, but that'll have to come later.
That will have to come later. The man, he just needs a little bit of a, I don't know what it is about F1. So, but
Rogue
now
deciding to go on the hards.
Yeah,
Ruda gets a fast
lap. Wow.
Crazy.
With a 10, what was that? A 10. Hitting the wrong button here. A 106.0. Wow. Absolutely fast. So a lot of time to be made up here, I think, for a lot of the people as we see Astronaut and Mr. Hood. They're in the 106.5s, 106.6. Mr. Hood, he had the fastest lap here at the Red Bull Ring as he still continues to have that DRS coming into turn 1, coming out of turn 1 now. And
Slowly, just creeping towards Astronaut.
We have a race on our hands.
Like an asteroid on a collision course with a space shuttle.
Now Kubi's going to pick up a 3-second penalty for track limits. Again, you got to be careful. Now, what's really interesting, we're seeing some mid-pack battles here, and I kind of want to highlight this.
Yeah, the Peach and Figlin going at it.
Yeah, the Peach, the Tack is almost going to probably get involved in that battle soon enough as well, but the Peach, Fig, and Action just... They were like this last week, too. These guys were absolutely battling it out. Now it's a 4-way battle coming in to turn 4 as they come through turn 5, and they're just going to fly down the straight.
Yeah, Righteous Fire looking to get some of that action in. But, yeah, no, it looks like the Peach is losing them a little bit. But, yeah, the Action might try to be going up on Matt's McLaren. We'll see if Big can defend himself accordingly.
So I'm trying to see if there's any other battles happening, and looks like there's a few happening ahead of these guys. Just they're a little more spread apart. We are seeing Babushka. He is trailing Sim Black Fox as Fig gets a penalty, 3 seconds for track limits. But the DRS coming alive for Babushka coming into turn 2 now.
Coming alive for Mr. Hood as well. Just waiting for that opportunity to overtake.
Interesting things now, and now Sim Black, it looks like Fig and Peach are once again going at each other. We got to keep our eyes on this battle as Fig was able to get the pass on him and keep the DRS and maybe get a little bit of a gap. But here comes the Peach. He goes on the inside and they collide. And now Fig, he has wing damage. He is no, he does not. He actually does. No, he does have wing damage on his left side. It's down to 25%, so...
Yeah, he's going to want to talk to the stewards about that.
Yeah, he is. Well, that wasn't his fault. Peach went on the inside. The move was on, for sure. That damage came on the left side, so that had to have been from earlier. But now it's, again, a 4-way battle coming into this next DRS, so we're going to see a nice DRS train coming down the front stretch.
Oh, yes. Peach making a move on Fig once again. On the outside, can he stick it? Can he stick it? Can he stick it? Will the DRS help any? He activates the ERS, the overtake.
Oof.
And now,
careful that Haas.
Yeah, the Haas of... Is that the action?
That's the action.
In between and getting both positions. He just has to maintain them, but nah, Fig squeezes right past.
This is absolutely insane as Righteous Fire gets into the mix. And I apologize about the voice crack.
And Mr. Hood is overtaken some time ago.
We'll talk about that later. But this is almost going to be a 5-6-way battle for P9 and P10. This is absolutely insanity back here in the back of the pack.
Only a few points up for grabs, but you take what you can get when you're in the mid-pack.
Especially if you're in the top 10 right now. Astronaut was able to get into the top 10 this week because he won a race. It took only 25 points to get into the top 10. So it doesn't take much as Madman and Peach and Action all have DRS coming up on to Righteous and Fig. As Righteous, he goes right past Fig on the outside. What a beautiful move.
With the DRS.
Ooh, that was a beautiful move. This is exactly what racing should be like.
Oh, yes. And Rogue and Ruda picking up more penalties. Less exciting weekend for Ferrari, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, this is mayhem back here for P9. This is turning into a 5-way car battle. I bet Righteous is just like, he had to kind of, he was probably on his toes there for a minute. There was a little bit of sketchy driving happening through there. But we are getting into the soft tire pit strat. So a lot of these guys are going to start falling off on the soft tire, but all these guys who are battling here in the back of the pack are on the medium tire. So we're going to see pit stops coming around lap 14, between 14 and 16. And the action, where's the action at?
He's at P11. He's still in this fight. He's been looking for more action. He's been getting really close in the later corners of the track.
They are just absolutely racing super hard. Not a whole lot of damage happening, though. These medium tires are at 26% wear right now. So Rogue is going to go ahead and retire, and that's a wing falling off by the Peach. He ran into the back of the action, and that's going to cause some wing damage onto the Peach here.
Yeah, the Peach is not going to be happy about that.
No, but he gained position. He gained like 3 positions there. And now there's a yellow flag in Sector 3. I don't know who that is, but we have to say goodbye to Rogue. That's the second DNF of this race as Peach goes wide and he falls a couple more positions, and there's a slide. Who is that? Is that the Peach? No, that's not the Peach. That's Madman.
Multiple yellow flags. Madman is just beached right now.
What is happening?
Another penalty. Pit window of all the mediums are open right about now.
Yep.
Peach is pitting.
You mean the softs? The softs should be pitting now. The mediums can go for at least another few more laps. Now the Peach. Whoa. The Peach put on intermediates.
Intermediates?
The Peach put on intermediate tires.
It's not going to rain. What are you doing the Marcus Winkelhock for? It's not going to rain.
He legitimately put on intermediate tires so we can count him out of this race as Fig and the action are still going at each other. But Mr. Hood, he's going to go ahead and he's taking a commanding lead. He's slowly gapping Astronaut, but these soft tires, they're at 50% wear. It wouldn't surprise me if Mr. Hood tries to take this all away, as we're seeing a little bit of understeer coming out of the corners now. That's going to leave an opportunity for Astronaut to catch up here. Using that DRS, he's going to get real close here as they are going into turn 2. And Bash, this battle for the lead might get intense here, especially as we get into pit strat.
Indeed. What are you thinking about this battle for 5th, though? Niall making a move on... Wait, no, Tact making a move on Stewie. But Stewie makes the move right back as Babu just loses them. But yeah, they're still within view. They're neck and neck, actually.
They are still neck and neck, and this is the racing we have been hoping for in Tier 1. It's been a while since we've had a really good race. The last decent race we had was China, I think. The rest have been kind of sleeper fest, I will admit. Hasn't been.
Kind of wishing it was cleaner, though. But
yeah, I wish it was a little bit cleaner, but hey, that's racing. That's racing, ladies and gentlemen, especially here in the United States. We like to get it dirty sometimes, especially on the racetrack.
As Tact about to activate the DRS on the Williams off Babushka. Is this going to be the overtake? I'm not sure that it is.
All right, so the stop.
He maintains that speed. Is he going to activate the ERS? He is.
Nope, he's going to go ahead and leave that ERS down.
Yeah.
And he
gets the overtake anyways.
Ooh, very nice. I don't know why my camera doesn't automatically switch when it goes on board, but automatically. But Bash, what Tack? He has made up positions here. He's made up 5 positions from his qualifying.
Indeed. He's got that penalty, but if he can keep going up positions, he can still net himself a decent amount of points. Sin Black Fox is 7 seconds away. Ooh, Mr. Hood and Astronaut. Oh no, no, Mr. Hood is pitted, and Astronaut is going to take first place. So Mr. Hood being the first one to pit on the mediums. Is that going to be the pair that he's going to stay on for the rest of this race?
I bet he could. I bet he could do it. As he falls down the order, I think he's gonna still be P4 as Chipsy falls into the pit as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see Astronaut pit here as well, as Sim Black Fox will become your new leader of this race. But those medium tires, they're 15 laps old, but they're probably gonna go a few more laps. So it wouldn't surprise me. They're only at 47% on Sim Black Fox on the left front. So some decent tire. It's okay tire wear. I think for the Red Bull Ring, I think he'll be fine for at least, give me four, he could probably put in 3 to 4 more laps on those tires for sure. So Astronaut, as he's coming down the final sector, he's going to go ahead and he's going to fall into the pits. Let's see what he goes. He might fall to the mediums.
I will say, like, historically in previous races, it's mostly just been like the top of the order where the pit strategy has mattered. But with so many battles going on in this particular race, we're seeing pit strategies like mattering throughout the grid. With Sin Black Fox, Tact, and Nile in the top 3 now, with Mr. Hood and Astronaut trying to work their way up the order, we have to see which of the current top 3 is going to bow out and head into the pits first, and how far the other 2 can go with their 16-lap-old mediums.
Now, I just want to point out, I don't know if you caught this, but Astronaut had a puncture there coming into the pit lane on those soft tires. So those soft tires don't last nearly as long as people thought they would. So those softs went 17 laps, and there was finally a puncture. But I bet he was taking those curbs pretty hard to get somewhat of a puncture at 16 laps.
Good on him, riding them all the way to the end.
Yeah.
But he's still got a bit of a ways to go compared to Mr. Hood, who's already back up in 3rd, overtaking Nile.
So this is when it's going to get interesting. Let's see. Does Nile fall into the pits? No, he is going to stay out and stay behind Mr. Hood. Tact stays out as well. Same with Fox. So let's see what happens here. Tact, he has gained 8 positions since the start of this race. So good for him. He is gaining those points. And I think he'll be happy to have his teammate. We could see a potential Racing Point 1-2 here at the Red Bull Ring as Astronaut gets up to P4 and passes Nile.
And now it's the duel between Mr. Hood and Astronaut once again. Mr. Hood has 1 lap older tires, but he's been pretty good about tire management. Riding those tires, those soft tires, all the way out to the end, sort of like Astronaut did, except he didn't get a puncture. But it'll be all down to who can ride those corners a little better.
Yeah, it really will come down to that, as Mr. Hood, he goes through the S curves and now goes on his merry way. So what is the hard thing? What's going to be the call here on the mediums? Do you go in at lap 20?
Maybe. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Maybe a little bit longer. Because what's it like? The softs were going 16 to 17 laps on Mr. Hood and Astronaut's cars, and they were absolutely tattered. So it really depends on how comfortable Sin Black Fox, Tact, Nile, and the rest of the OG medium runners are with regards to running those softer tires and managing them all the way to the end.
Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but, actually it might be good news for some people about Astronaut. He is just staying within the DRS of Mr. Hood. And Mr. Hood, he's kind of a sitting duck here in these DRS zones. As Astronaut, he's only 3/10 down. And so Mr. Hood, he's got to push if he wants to get maybe into a DRS train and have a little bit of a defensive chance against Astronaut, because Astronaut, he is flying on these mediums.
That plus Mr. Hood does need to go a good bit faster if he wants to maintain the win, because he has that penalty. Astronaut does not. And as far as we know, Astronaut might be looking to drive it clean for the rest of the race.
Well, finally, the DRS train is going to happen. Mr. Hood was slower in sectors 1 and 2, but he was faster in sector 3. Now it's a battle for P2 now. Astronaut, he hits Mr. Hood, and he goes into the wall. What happened to Mr. Hood? Did he lose his wing?
Alex Albon.
Oh, no. That might cost him.
Someone else.
That was by Astronaut. I think that's going to cost Astronaut the victory.
And they're going to exchange words for sure one way or another.
Ooh, that was a rough. Ooh, I feel absolutely gutted for Mr. Hood. But Tact, he is staying on these tires. And he's going to keep the lead here as Astronaut. He is creeping up on Sim Black Fox's. Sim Black Fox is going to not look. Yep, they're both falling into the pits. Both Tact and Sim Black Fox fall into the pits. And Astronaut, he's going to go ahead and just take an easy P1.
Hood is still 5th, and it really depends on whether or not he's able to overtake Chipsy. And then if he can get close enough to Astronaut in order to secure the win, depending on whether or not there are penalties for that collision and how severe the penalties are. So, yeah, Hood is just playing a game of catch-up at that point. Has to be careful to maintain his fuel, has to be careful to maintain his ERS, but other than that, he seems to be doing pretty good.
So looking at sector times right now, Astronaut, he is just a little bit faster, just a few milliseconds though. I mean, we're talking 2 milliseconds faster in each sector. So Mr. Hood, he's got to find just a little bit of extra time. Now, he did not receive any damage from the looks of things on that collision, thankfully. Because if he would have had damage, race over for him. But we forget about Chipsy. He's got a podium spot now. Can he hold on to this?
You think he can defend against Mr. Hood? I mean, he has a significant gap, and he's not a bad driver at all.
No, Mr. Hood, I think Chipsy, he is a fast medium driver. He is 100% he loves the medium tire. He drives very well on the medium tire. And obviously what he's been able to do on the medium tire was amazing. So the fact that he's just able to go like this is very good for him. So, but can he find the time to get up into Astronaut's personal space? He is losing time to him in Sector 1, and Hood is faster than Chipsy in Sector 1. So Mr. Hood, I think Chipsy might be a little bit of a sitting duck here as that gap increases to Astronaut and decreases to Mr. Hood.
Yeah, Chipsy seems to be really pushing. He'll probably want to maintain, ideally, a gap within 5 seconds of Astronaut, just in case something happens. But I'm guessing he's also focused on building a gap over Mr. Hood. I'm not sure whether the gap is increasing or decreasing. It seems to be maintaining consistency. It's staying constant. But yeah, no, either way, Chipsy has to be on his top game if he wants to maintain this position or potentially increase it. Tact, on the other hand, who is in 4th place currently, gets just under a 1:06 and secures the fastest lap. Very well done to him.
He does secure that fastest lap, but I want to draw our attention to a battle now for P5 between Babushka and Sim Black Fox. Sim Black Fox, he's going to go to the soft tire. I bet he is looking for, because these soft tires are not going to last till the end of the race. I guarantee you. They're 1 lap old. I'm calculating in my head. If we're seeing a puncture at 17 laps, I don't see it happening. So he might be going on a 2-stopper here. But in going medium soft, which I think you can do. Yeah. You can do medium softs, can't you?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do medium softs.
Yeah, it just really depends on what position you are and how much of your standing you're willing to sacrifice.
Yeah. So I bet he'll stop again. Probably get a used pair of softs, probably his quali pair, because that's what he qualified on. And Sim Black Fox, he puts up a 105.8. Very well done. That was an absolute banger of a lap for him. So he's going to go ahead and just drive off. Can he catch up the Tact, though? He's creeping up in his rearview mirror as Linus Singapore gets a 105.678 and gets the fastest lap time with that Red Bull. So, but Astronaut, he is continuously increasing that gap inch by inch to Chipsy. But Chipsy, he's just staying there. He's just being patient. But Tact, he's going to go ahead and go around some back markers now, some traffic, and has a 6-second gap to Mr. Hood now. So not getting penalties is crucial to win Extravaganza. You're exactly right. So I'm seeing the chat. They're talking about what the FIA could do. We have no say in what they could do. I wouldn't be surprised if we see definitely see a penalty from that or a report for sure. So
yeah, we can only make predictions.
It's definitely going to get reported. But
yeah. Niall and Babu having their own battle as well. So there's a battle for 6th and a battle for 4th, just happening within moments of each other. Babu maintaining some competitiveness, even with sort of old mediums. I mean, these are probably the mediums he'll want to finish the race on, but he will want to be careful if he wants to finish ahead of a lot of his competitors because he has racked up quite a few penalties.
Gazier is going to go ahead and fall into the pits. He's going to pit for probably medium tires now and finish the race on those mediums. So no hard runners, no hard tire this time around. So very shocking to see that.
Mr. Hood still 2.5 seconds or so behind Chipsy. Might be creeping in slightly though, but the question is, what can he do with just 10 laps left?
Yeah, as the 10-lap marker hits now, but Astronaut, his gap is slowly dwindling to Chipsy. Chipsy is only 4.5 seconds back, and that's actually quite a difference, actually.
Yeah.
The fact that he was 5 seconds down and was decreasing and losing time to Mr. Hood, he's actually been very consistent with Mr. Hood. He's staying within that gap, and he is gaining time on Astronaut. Or is Astronaut just having that bad of tire wear? It looks like he is having some temperature problems with these medium tires, as his right tire just seems like it's getting super hot, especially through the turns.
Yeah, and Chipsy's been having a pretty good time maintaining speed while maintaining his tires. He's been using the DRS off some back markers to develop a gap over Hood as well. I mean, for all we know, something might happen, and Chipsy could be in pretty good standing to win this race, barring any penalties.
Really, anything could happen. I mean, Chipsy's tires are a lap old, but one thing about Chipsy, he's really good at tire management, and the setups that he makes or the setups that he uses are ones that are actually tend to be more on the side of tire management and helping you preserve tires. I've seen him do long stints on the soft and on the mediums. So, and the setups that he uses are the same ones I use, and I've seen a very significant difference, especially on when you use a hard tire with a setup. The hard tire can last you forever.
Indeed. Yeah, that's something you have to take into consideration when you're making your setups. Speed is important, but speed isn't the only thing that wins a race. Durability, tire wear, you have to take everything into consideration. The car is a multifaceted package, so just be aware of that.
So Chipsy, his gap has decreased to 5.3 seconds. Gazier, he is out of this race now. He is going to get his DNF. I think he DNF'd last week too. I can't remember though. So Astronaut, he is definitely hoarding some ERS. He is at 43% right now. So just holding on to it as long as he can.
Mr. Hood's slowly gaining on Chipsy as well.
Yeah, I think those tires are starting to become a little bit of a problem now. They're starting to get that wear as it becomes cloudy. And now let's take a look here at our weather report and see what's coming. Yep, currently it is cloudy. So that's going to affect the track temperature, as the track temp did decrease by 1 degree already. So wouldn't surprise me if we see it cool off here towards the latter stages of this race. We are on lap 28 of 36 here.
Oh, yes. And Yeah, no, Mr. Hood could very well overtake Chipsy within 5 or 6 laps or so if he's on his A game, and provided he doesn't like do anything weird on any laps. But with that penalty and with Chipsy maintaining clean driving, he'd need to go a little bit further in order to secure that second and potentially first position.
I'm trying to find some battles here, and as we've seen, Linus Singapore, he is having a little bit of a battle for P10 for with Ruda now. Ruda is the new Ferrari driver taking the place of Gore as that DRS comes alive, and Kubi's going to go ahead and use all of his overtake. He is down to 11%. He's going to have, I think he needs to probably save some. Slow it down. You don't need to use quite as much, Kubi. Now you're not using any as Fig picks up a 3-second penalty for track limits.
Yeah, that battery management on Kubi is concerning. He's going to want to save some. Meanwhile, Ruda has so much battery, and he's using it to counter Kubi's ERS-DRS combination, which is allowing him to prevent himself from being overtaken. So very well done to him. Whether or not Ruda gets points is going to be dependent on how far he can go with those penalties. It is admirable seeing him work his way up the order, though, after that unfortunate incident early on in the race that sent him all the way back.
So looking at penalty times right now, we have quite a lot. Virtual safety car.
What caused that? I didn't see.
Looks like we have
Madman GTR's in the pits, so he probably stuffed it somewhere and left some debris on the track.
And Righteous Fire, he's going to get a drive-through penalty for speeding under virtual safety car as we go green again. And Astronaut, he's going to go ahead and just take off again. But Chipsy, he's gained up the time he lost again. He's in that 4.5 second range again. Let's see how those lap times are looking. Chipsy was a little bit faster in Sector 1 and Sector 2. So he is gaining time. There was a yellow flag in Sector 3. Who was that? That was Fig? That was Fig. So Fig, he's falling into the pits now. And Chipsy, he is going to potentially look for, I think, can Chipsy win this race?
I think he could.
He was faster that lap than Astronaut in all 3 sectors.
Yeah, so it looks like he is going to lower the gap, and he is building the gap on Mr. Hood once again. So it really depends on whether he can maintain his speed. I think it might be dependent on like the penalty situation again. Ooh, Fig retires, so it's all on Chipsy to get those points from McLaren. But
Fig,
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I think he just decided to abandon his car. I don't think he crashed out, or maybe he did, based on where his car is oriented. But yeah, no, I think it will be dependent on what the stewards rule for Astronaut's little moment.
Yeah.
So, because I don't see him overcoming a 5-second gap against a driver like Astronaut in 4 or 5 laps.
So I'm seeing a yellow flag in Sector 2. But it looks like that's been cleared up as well. But Chipsy, he is trying to just close the gap. But let's see what happened here. And it looks like Astronaut, he said, you know what? That gap was getting a little bit too close. And puts up a 106.1. So definitely putting on the pressure. So let's go ahead and try and find some battles here.
Yeah.
Let's go battle search. But now we have a safety car.
Now.
Safety car.
Safety car. So things are going to be bunched together. So Chipsy could very well get his opportunity to overtake, or Mr. Hood might overtake Chipsy.
Yeah, this could.
No, Astronaut must be fuming right about now.
He is. Now, pit strategy. Do they pit? There's 4 laps remaining. Astronaut, he is going to fall into the pits. Great. He's going to go to the soft tire, I think. So let's see.
Pitting as well.
That's smart. You have to get to the soft tire. Let's see what happens here. Let's see. Where is that safety car at?
A lot of people are scrambling to the pits, actually. Who is staying out? Is anybody staying out? Niall's staying out. Babu's staying out. So we might see some shenanigans with them.
We could.
Especially considering Niall is on softs. They're on pretty old softs, so that's a rather brave move, him staying out.
Actually,
But
it works out.
Yeah, Astronaut and Chipsy are now first and second in the order.
So let's take a
Mr.
look.
Hood gonna have to make up some positions though by the end of the safety car period.
Yeah, he's gonna have to find a way to go in.
Ooh, careful not to hit or overtake Astronaut, Chipsy, otherwise you'll get a significant penalty.
So, looking at it right now, let's take a look at some tires. So, looking at Niall's tires right now, his left front tires at 60% wear. And he has 4 more laps to go. Looks like we are getting the field somewhat bunched up. There is one Red Bull, it looks like. No, it looks like, yeah, Red Bull, who is a little bit lacking behind. Lacking. It's okay, Fig. You were in a battle there, man. What a battle you had for 9th, 10th, and 11th. That was just an absolute beautiful battle. So
yeah, Fig did great. No doubt he'll be doing better next time.
Yep, he'll definitely want to look for something as we hit lap 34. Are we going to get a last lap shootout?
Maybe. I would not expect it. All eyes are on Chipsy now, I'd like to say.
Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, get your friends here. If they love F1 esports, they're definitely going to love the end of this race. And once again, we want to thank the people over at GridFinder because this race is approved by them in this league. As well, head over to gridfinder.com and we are an approved league. So, huge shout out to them. We are in cloudy conditions. That track temp is now at 27 degrees Celsius. So things getting awfully interesting. This is the first actual safety car we have had in a long time. And now safety car in this lap. We are going green at lap 35 out of 36, ladies and gentlemen. Astronaut, Chipsy, Niall in a 2-lap showdown here in Apollo Racing Club.
Can't count out Mr. Hood either.
You cannot. He is on the fresh and soft tires. A lot of guys did smart move, but
Open up their tires, just waiting for the safety car to come in and the green flag to come out. Let's see what happens as a result of this shootout.
green,
Ooh, getting a little close.
green flag.
Chipsy figures his tires is warm enough, and he's going to try to swallow up Astronaut now.
Green flag is out, and we are underway once again here at the Red Bull Ring. As Chipsy, he is going to try and find a move, but he's just going to stay in the draft zone as they go through turn 1. They are absolutely flying here. Christian Horner would be absolutely proud of this racing today at the Red Bull Ring. He's
using a little bit of that slipstream.
Yep, he's trying to stay within that slipstream. And next lap, DRS is coming on out. So be aware of that. As Niall, he is losing tons of time. And Mr. Hood, he has already gained 1 position. Can he find another? Can he find the pickup onto Niall? But it might not be enough, as Mr. Hood does have a 3-second penalty onto his name. So he has to be careful of that. But guess who don't? Chipsy and Astronaut, the 2 men in the top 5 who do not have a penalty here in week. What round are we in? Round 7, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, round 7. Round 7 for sure. But Astronaut, he's trying to take off. He's trying to find that second gap.
Mr. Hood gets the podium with that slick overtake on Niall. Astronaut gets a fastest lap of 1 minute 5.004. So close to breaking the 1 minute 5 barrier. But now Chipsy uses that ERS, as does Astronaut. Where is the DRS, I'm wondering?
Where is the DRS? It should have came out last lap, but it did not. But we are going to get some fantastic racing as Astronaut. He gets a little loose. He gets loose on the front end, and now this might be an opportunity for for Chipsy. He's going to go ahead and just speed as Tack retires from the race. He probably had a crash. We'll have to ask what happened later. But Astronaut, he is going to have to push on this final lap here.
McLaren and Racing Points rely on one driver each. Who's going to take it home provisionally? Who is going to do it?
Who is going to do it? Chipsy, he is very close, but he loses a bit of time there through the... But can he find something?
Corners.
Astronaut, he is flying through the last turns here as he goes through the penultimate turn. As he comes down the final straight, the checkered flag is out, and Astronaut
will cross the line first, provisionally, barring any penalties, with Chipsy in second place. Mr. Hood taking a podium, which is protected because pretty much everyone behind him had penalties. So that's about as good as he could get. That was a brilliant performance from him, making up all of those positions and giving us a crazy race.
Absolutely
that is a fantastic
insane.
top three. I don't know who I'd give driver of the day between Mr. Hood or Chipsy. What's it?
You know, because we have a kind of a standard here in what I have had a precedent set. The driver of the day, if we have two driver of the day, we can't decide between. It's the one who did not have penalties, and that is going to be the man at Mr. Chipsy. He did not have a single penalty this race, so a huge congratulations to him. But Astronaut becoming the two-time winner here at Apollo Racing Club and getting an extra 25 points, and now he has cut the lead to the championship in half.
Brilliant stuff, especially from Chipsy, in the right place at the right time and just capitalizing on it. Of course, Mr. Hood taking home the fastest lap of a 1:05 dead.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. But what a last lap we had there, ladies and gentlemen. What a last lap indeed. We will get our race winner, our driver of the day, in here in just a moment. But, all right, let's get these guys up in here. But man, my heart is pounding after that.
Same. But as well, yeah, I am very interested in seeing what the stewards say regarding that incident between Astronaut and Mr. Hood.
Now, just go ahead, finish your thought there.
That sort of changed the landscape of the race just a little bit, because Mr. Hood was in contention for most of it, but then after that, he had to play catch up for a lot of it.
All right, we'll get our race winner and the man who came in second and our driver of the day in here. Move this. Hello. We are joined here by Astronaut, the race winner, and Chipsy, our driver of the day.
I will wait. You can interview Astronaut first.
Okay. Astronaut, congratulations. 2 weeks in, 2 wins. How does that feel?
I don't know. This one is kind of mixed feelings because there was the incident with Mr. Hood, and I don't know what happened there. And my teammate was having a good race, but the safety car was in a poor timing for him, and he got to DNF. So, yeah, it is a good result, but for the team, it's a shame.
It was a race of attrition. It seemed like some great battles happening, especially between you and Mr. Hood. Sad that we didn't get to see that happen, but what do you think happened? I mean, you guys were battling for P2 there. It was a four-way battle basically for the lead. But what was going through your head at that time?
So I was just waiting because the two cars in front were going to pit in that lap or the next one. I'm not sure. But yeah, I was just waiting, and Mr. Hood wanted to clean the traffic, so he dived down the inside, and he was having a slower line. and I wasn't expecting him to do the turn that slow, and I hit him. I think that is what's happened. What happened?
Now, now we'll talk about qualifying, and then I'll turn it over to Bash. Qualifying, that was a shootout between you and Rogue there. Where did you find the time? I mean, you were absolutely flying. You ended up with the fastest time, the fastest lap, of course, with a 105 flat. So, what do you do? What is the things that you do for especially in your qualifying, to just do so well?
I don't know. Maybe that's the Brazilian rain buff, wet weather buff. So, but jokes aside, I like the wet weather a lot. So I practice a lot in the wet. That's why I'm quick. I had 2 qualifying sessions in the wet. So.
Now, how did it feel to have that puncture at the end of your first stint? We all saw it.
Yeah, it was mega lucky.
You were driving on 3 tires back into the pit lane, so
Yeah, that was clutch.
It was just on the pit entry. It was lucky. Yeah.
So go ahead, Bash. Do you have any questions?
You pretty much asked everything that we could have asked for Astronaut. One question I have is for Chipsy, and that is, so you drove a really solid race throughout, really clean, and all of a sudden, one thing after another happens, and you find yourself in second place. What was going through your head once you realized that, and how did your strategy for the race change afterwards?
The strategy stayed the same. What was going through my head was don't F this up, because on lap 1 and lap 2, I got 2 warnings. So the entire rest of the race, I had to go without getting any more corner cuts or track extensions. So it was a little, especially towards the end of the race when we got that safety car, I was a little nervous there.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
That last lap shootout, you were absolutely flying, Chipsy. I mean, you were pretty consistent at some points. You were actually, for 3 laps consistently, you ran faster than Astronaut. Were you thinking you had a chance to maybe win this race tonight?
Well, I wanted to get it on track, especially after the safety car. And I know Astronaut had that incident with Mr. Hood, so I was trying to stay within that 5 seconds the entire time, just in case the FIA does decide to give a minor or 5-second penalty, what have you. So I just felt really good. The setup felt great. Credit to Astronaut. He drove a great race. So just trying to keep up with him was a challenge. So we'll see what happens next week.
Well, you were our driver of the day. You put up a fantastic race. How was qualifying for you?
Qualifying was okay. I didn't do any practice in the wet, so a little bit blindsided there. But I felt good going into it, and yeah, it was pretty good. And Bash Dash, welcome back.
Thank you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you race more. I'm looking forward to seeing more of Astronaut, one of the really exciting newcomers that I've seen. 2 races, 2 wins. One last question for both of you to answer in sequence. Next round, next week, is at the Pride and True Silverstone, Great Britain. How are you going to practice, and what are going to be your objectives coming into the race?
I'll go first. I'm going to practice the wet. It does rain there a lot. If it rains, I'm assuming Astronaut, who's like apparently the god in the rain, is going to take the cake and is going to win. But I'm always going for a podium. And obviously with Rogue and Astronaut battling out, that's something I like to watch. So it's fun to watch them on track as well, usually behind them. But yeah, that's going to be my strategy.
And Astronaut?
Yeah, I'm going to do the same as always. Like, do some laps on the dry, do some laps on the wet. And I'm expecting to do the most points for the team. I think the constructors is my main goal now.
Well, you just so you know, you have halved Rogue's lead. Rogue has now had 2 DNFs. You're now sitting at 50 points. I think you're very close. One more, 2 more wins, and you could be very well in that first place.
But I mean, he could take his form back and just start getting some good results as well. So.
Well, gentlemen, good job tonight. Thank you for the fantastic racing. This was an absolute banger of a race. I cannot wait to watch the replay because it was that good. So thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys. Good
Thank
job,
you.
astronaut.
Yeah, thank
Good
you.
stuff, both
Good.
of you. Rats.
So, and we just want to remind everybody of all the events happening here at Apollo Racing. We have not only F1 2020 tonight, we have the Tier 2 tomorrow night here at the Red Bull Ring, followed by then this weekend. We have lots of events coming up. We have the 24 Hours of Daytona, iRacing 24 Hours of Daytona. We have 2 teams competing in the GTEs and 2 teams competing in the LMP2s. So make sure you tune in to the Apollo Racing Club stream. And then, of course, we have ACC next week as well. Make sure to tune in for that. So make sure to follow and give us a subscribe as well. We appreciate that. And to everybody, have a great night, race fans, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.